How's everyone doing today? Good. Me too. You know, on the way in, Father Roga was saying he feels very happy today. And all of the students who were at the entrance also said that they feel happy today too. I think it's contagious because I feel happy, and I'm guessing a lot of you feel happy too. So that's a good thing. Now, that gospel passage that we just heard, it might sound a little bit familiar for some of you. Because we just heard it a couple of days ago on Sunday. On Sunday we had the same gospel passage. And so the church, do you think the church thinks this is important? An important message for us? Or not so important? They gave it to us twice in just a few days. Important, you think? Raise your hand if you think it's pretty important. Yeah. I think it's a pretty important lesson that Jesus is giving us. Now, let me ask you a question. How many of you are married? Raise your hand if you're married. Oh, not very many students. So I see some of the teachers and parents are married. Yeah. But if you're not married, do you know people who are married? Raise your hand if you know someone who's married. Okay, pretty much everyone. Now, and you maybe know me. I'm married. Right? And my wife is also married, coincidentally. And this past Saturday, my wife and I celebrated our wedding anniversary. Yeah, we've been married for 33 years. You can believe that. Huh? Oh. It's my wife who can get the applause, by the way. And 33 years seems like a long time, especially if you're less than 33 years old, which I guess many of you are. But for our anniversary, I tried to be a good husband. I got her a box of chocolates, because I'm pretty sure she's going to share them with me. And I got her some flowers, right? I got her some tulips, her favorite flower, tulips. Right? And she was really happy. They're beautiful tulips there. I put them in the vase. Gave me a good gift. It was great. Right? The tulips were just beautiful. And this morning, when I was leaving the house, I looked at those tulips. For some reason, they didn't look quite as beautiful this morning as they did on Saturday when they were fresh. Why is that? Why do you think that is? You gotta talk loud. I'm kind of low, so I don't hear well. Yeah.
Because they got a little older than
Right, because they got a little older, they were cut, right? They were cut off of the tulip plant, right? Yeah, they started to droop over, right? Those tulips were really beautiful on Saturday. A few days later, they started to droop. And that's kind of Jesus is telling us in the gospel. Because the tulip's not connected to the plant anymore, it starts to droop. And that's why Jesus says, he says, I am the vine, and you are the branches, and you have to stay connected. Remain in me. Because if we don't, we start to look like those tulips after a few days. And we start to droop. And the petals start to fall off. And then we kind of get dried out and brown and withered. That's what happens when we get disconnected. Right? So that's why Jesus says, remain in me. Stay with me. So you can have that life in you. Because I don't think those tulips, I can hope maybe new flowers will grow in those same stems. But probably not, right? Probably not, because it's cut off from the plant. Because if we get cut off from Jesus, if we cut ourselves off from Jesus, we're going to start to droop and we're not going to produce new fruit or new flowers. So how do we do that? How do we remain in Jesus? How do we stay connected to Jesus? Yeah. By listening in church? Yeah. What other way? How can we do that? By being good, right? To listen to God, right? Listening to your parents. I tried that once. It worked out good. By praying. Those are all really good ways to stay connected to Jesus, to remain in Jesus. And he says when we do that, we're going to bear fruit. What kind of fruit can we bear? What does that mean? We're going to bear good fruit. Yeah. Yeah, you give joy and fruit. You're a source of joy for other people. How awesome is that? Say it again. Patient and kind. Absolutely. Those are some over here. Be nice to your sister, yeah. Sometimes these things are hard to do, right? One more. Be nice to everyone. Yeah, those are the kinds of fruit that we can bear when we stay connected to Jesus. And so that's part of what we're doing today. We come to Mass to stay connected to Jesus, right? So that when we leave here, we can be nice to our sister. We can be patient and kind. We can spread joy, be a source of joy to others. Just as Jesus is a source of joy for us, right? We share that with one another. So that's what Jesus invites us to do, to always stay connected. Because if we disconnect ourselves from Jesus, it may be beautiful one day, like those flowers were on Saturday, but it doesn't take long for us to droop and all the petals fall off, and we're not going to do it for it.